Let's begin this hour with reports that Nigeria and the United States government have reached an agreement on the return of over $23 million allegedly looted by late former military head of state General Sani Abacha. The expected $23 million will rack the loot of the late dictator recovered from the U.S. in the last 2 years to $335 million. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, signed on behalf of the Nigerian government, and the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, signed on behalf of the U.S. government. And TVC News' Celestine Area reports.
In 2006, about $723 million in Abacha loot was returned to Nigeria from Switzerland. Nigeria has in the past recovered several other trenches of Abacha loot, which are proceeds believed to have been diverted from public coffers by the military administration of General Sani Abacha in the 1990s. In 2020, the U.S. and Jersey also agreed to return over $308 million in confiscated funds to Nigeria. Today, the Nigerian government has signed an agreement with the government of the United States of America. The agreement is for the repatriation of over $23 million. President Muhammadu Buhari had mandated the office of the AGF to ensure that all international recoveries are transparently invested and monitored by civil society organizations.
Your Excellency, the Ambassador.
The repatriated funds are to be utilized under Presidential Development Infrastructural Funds, namely Abuja-Kaduna Road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and the second Niger Bridge under the supervision of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority.
That we are here today witnessing another milestone in the funding of these projects, which are indeed critical to the development of Nigeria.
The United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Leonard, noted that the U.S. Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation seized these funds in respect to General Abacha and his associates' violation of U.S. law when they laundered these assets through the U.S. into accounts in the United Kingdom. These repatriations bring total amount of funds repatriated in this case by the U.S. to more than $334.7 million. This agreement is also a collaboration that the U.S. government must continue in order to right the wrongs committed under the previous regimes, combined with the $311.7 billion seized and repatriated with the assistance of a bailiwick of Jersey and the government of Nigeria in 2020.
The United States government is keenly aware of the devastating impact that corruption has on societies. Corruption erodes trust in the ability of governments to deliver for their citizens. It distorts economies and access to key services, hinders development, pushes citizens towards extremism, and makes countries and their officials susceptible.
The U.S. law enforcement will continue to deny safe haven for corrupt actors and their assets, and as a partner deeply invested in Nigerian success, will continue to facilitate the recovery and return of proceeds of corruption to the Nigerian people. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
And social reformer Andy Akpotive joins me virtually to discuss this latest agreement between Nigeria and the U.S. Good to have you join us.
Great to be here.
If you listen to that report, you realize that so far the monies we have recovered from what it is called now, the Abacha loot, you realize that it is about $335 million. What does this tell you about the level of corruption that has been going on in this country?
Enormous. As a matter of fact, is beyond what can be described as hydra-headed. And the level of corruption in this country is so gangrenous that if we did not intervene surgically to have an amputation done, and this patient called Nigeria may not be able to survive. The level of corruption, like with the case of medicine, there were certain surgeries, there were certain wounds that you would have, and you will use some kind of medicaments and you put on those wounds. Eventually, they would heal. There are other kinds of wounds you will have, and you will use POPs, plasters and other medicaments, and they will heal. But there are some other kinds and nature of wound that you will have that you will need to excavate to the very, very bottom of that wound in order for you to begin the healing process of that wound. For gangrenous wound, the level of corruption in Nigeria, trust me,
a lot of Nigerians, if they begin to understand the depth and the dimensions of this level of corruption, their minds would be blown completely. Corruption is so hydra-headed, is so contained in the different segments, the different sectors, the different systems in Nigeria that it makes it almost feel like God must have been involved in our case for us to still be surviving till this moment. There must have been some rub-off of divinity, because how do you take out this number, this measure of blood from a patient? How do you have a patient who has been starved consistently of nutrients and the patient is still surviving? They have taken so much, literally, so much levels of blood from the system of Nigeria. Nigeria is still surviving. So it is to some of us something that we should study in our universities, for our PhD thesis, how a country can be this balkanized, how a country can be this raped, how a country can be this terribly
let me jump in here because,
and the country is still surviving.
Let me jump in here. Because these monies are now, because don't forget that Switzerland also returned some monies to Nigeria at some point. They are actually to Nigeria at some point.
Yes.
Yes. It speaks to the complicity of some of these foreign countries, because it takes two to tango, as what we say. So speak to the complicity of the foreign countries in the corruption in Nigeria.
Absolutely. You know what we see from where I'm from in Delta State is that the woman's private is private to her. But where a woman feels to take care of herself, where a woman feels to observe, some of the things that she should observe, she would have no other choice but to open her private up for the doctor to go and investigate. The woman will have HVS, high vaginal swab, done on her. She has no other reason because she has exposed herself because she did not take care of herself. People would begin to do what ordinarily is supposed to be private. This is the case in Nigeria, that we have opened ourselves like that woman. We are a sovereign nation in the sense of it, in the length and the breadth of it. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. But today, see how we are being toyed with, to the extent that they are having agreement with us. Does that not come to you people, come to us as Nigerians as a shocker? They are determining for you how you ought to spend your money in the first place. Let me say this. We must begin to interrogate certain things in this country. My concerns are simple. The people in America who were complicit, who aided and abetted this corruption, the individuals in America, the individual citizens, what has happened to them? The institutions in America that were housed, that received, that took these monies that were, as it were, fleeced away from our country, that held these monies for that number of years. What has happened to those institutions? If these monies had been in those institutions for this number of years, how much interest has it generated? What did those institutions use those monies for? What has it generated? Our government is not speaking to these issues. You know why they cannot? Because like that woman who refused to take care of her private, we have no other shame because we have opened ourselves to public and we are dancing naked at the market square. That is why you can find doctors.
You're right. I mean, the loopholes that make it easy for people to steal this level of, or this kind of monies. I don't know if we have blocked them. And I wish we could also talk about the fact that people are wondering whether this money should have been returned to the next administration and not this one. But thank you so much for talking to us, social reformer Andy Akwotibe.
So there are a few things.
I'm sorry, I wish we could go on, but my time is up. Thank you so much for talking to us.